Welcome everybody to another
Hi,
episode of the Modern Day Med Spa here with Charmaine Trujillo and Ding Trinkline. My name is Mark Molinyawe. Today is a little bit of a special episode because if you guys haven't watched us on YouTube yet or don't know what we look like, first of all, go to YouTube, search the Modern Day Med Spa. Number two, realize that episodes 1 through 6, Dean had a different look to him. And now he looks a lot different here. You will notice that 7 pounds of facial hair are now removed, and that's in an effort to cut weight. Is that right, Dean? Tell us what the inspiration was behind this. Actually, Shar, you have the story, don't you?
Well, you know, we've had a bet for quite a while, pretty much all year, who could bench more, and
Right.
you know, he finally showed up, and you know, I benched more than him, and
That's right. He lost.
He lost.
That's right. That's right. Dean, give us what happened here. Did you fall into
shit happens when you party naked. Man, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
No, man, rolling into 2023, brand new, fresh. Had a lot of gray coming in on the beard, and I was getting some split ends. And rather than just trimming it down a little bit like I normally do, I figured I'd roll into 2023 looking like a baby's bottom. Took a couple of years off my appearance, which is okay, but it also dropped my intimidation factor by a score of about 20, and I lost my man card in some circles. So
That's right.
other than that, it's been all good things, but it is coming back. Rest assured, it is coming back. I miss it. It's like my safety blanket.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to growing out again. And
still
losing a
think
bench competition to Charmaine was humbling.
bench press, and then also the fantasy football league that he may have been in this year could also be the reason. Coming last place.
We were
not
the
fun.
JJ Whatnots.
That's exactly right. Oh, is that your team? Is that your go-to team name?
No, but if I played this year, that probably would have been it.
Can I get a Watt? Yep, I get that. I get it. All right, today in this episode, we're talking about how you can double your earnings by creating combo treatments, an upselling strategy that you guys can use so that every time that somebody walks in the door, they're now worth double or triple.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into this. Let's talk about why this is such an important topic and why med spa owners need to be looking at this, Dean.
You know, honestly, it's for several reasons, and it starts with at the client level, the med spa client level. What you see all too many times, and it doesn't matter if you're working with a med spa who is a solopreneur, or you're working with a med spa that has 10 different locations, it's the same song, same dance, same day. Somebody will go to their website, they will book Botox, they will come in, they will get their treatment, they will get their Botox, and they will leave.
Right.
Very little attention is paid to the treatment plan or anything that they might have filled out coming in for other concerns. We know that Botox can deliver an immediate result, and it gives us that quick dopamine hit. But is it ultimately the singular best thing for the patient? And the answer is no. The answer is no. What should be happening at the patient level is we should be taking great care, paying great attention, and giving great detail toward what the issues are that are plaguing the client. If they're just looking for something for a superficial layer, that's fine. But 9 times out of 10, they aren't. There's a deeper issue, right? So they got to dig in. They need to see what's going on. So now when you start coupling, tripling, even quadrupling certain treatments, you can actually treat things at the root cause, not just the symptom. So we're not looking for the pill to get rid of the headache. We're looking for the thing that caused the headache to begin with, right? And we're looking to treat that. You can't do that with just one procedure or one treatment. Now, when you go to the other level of the actual med spa itself, it makes client lifetime value exponentially more profitable and worthwhile. So rather than paying anywhere between $11 and $18 per unit of Botox, now maybe they're working with filler. Now maybe they're using some type of energy-based treatment. Maybe now they're also doing some microneedling, you know, anything, any number of things. And I think what I'll do now is kind of pass the torch over to Charmaine, our resident expert at this, because, you know, she probably does this better than anybody I've seen. Somebody will come in, they think that it's this. But Charmaine has a very Socratic way. And when I say that, I mean a very cerebral way of questioning, of getting the real issue out of her clients and patients, and getting to the root cause and selling more than what they came in for, not just for her profits, but for the client as well. Charmaine, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, when a client comes in, I talk to them about, first of all, what bothers them, what they see. And a lot of times this is a very emotional industry, because a lot of it is, obviously it is aesthetics, but there's more to it than that. So, I get to know my patients, kind of see what's bothering them. And, I know the aging process, I have my demographic that usually is spot on to what they're seeing. So, it is, no matter what commercials or no matter what Instagram posts is like, oh, this is before and after, whatever the reps try to sell us. I know it's taken me years, of, digging in and knowing that just not one treatment is going to take care of everything. So that's really what I do, is I combine treatments all the time. And there's one thing about being, the injector, the laser tech, whatever, the practitioner, is that you have to ask them what bothers them, because again, like I can see these, big humongous bags on their under their eyes, and and their concern is this dark spot over here. So, I go overall, let them tell me what bothers them, and then I tell them what I see, and I come up with a plan, to treat the overall person. A lot of times too, I like to treat my patient overall wellness. Again, going back to what Dean says, it's all about wellness. We've got to get to the root of the cause, because anytime, something is showing up on our skin or our face, it's coming within, it starts in our gut. And so we have to get the client, healthy enough to where whatever treatment that I'm doing, because even like say acne, for instance, yeah, I could treat all I want with topical, products and then lasers, and I can do that. But if they have a gut issue, it's only going to keep coming up and up and up. And on that part, at this point, they're spending $3,000, whatever with me, and they're still having active acne. So that's where, the owner or whoever, the practitioner needs to be very educated and understand that just because a company comes in and the rep's going to want to try and sell you this device that's going to create miracles, I'm sorry, but it's not. So
well, before we go down that rabbit hole, Charmaine, let me ask you this, because I think you said something really powerful that our listeners and viewers will appreciate, right? You said something about kind of taking a holistic approach, right? So we get caught up in being very transactional, saying, okay, somebody's coming in for this is what they wanted. I don't want to come off pitchy or salesy or something like that, so I'm going to give them what they want. But sometimes they don't really know what it is that they really want, right? So they see an Instagram or a TikTok of some place, just talking about Botox or filler, but really there might be something else going on. So when we're talking about the idea of coupling, tripling, quadrupling, potentially packages, we're talking about really getting to the root issue, right? Digging down into that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how I have found my success with, my before and after pictures. And just, once it's life-changing for the client, once you can truly treat them and give them the confidence boost. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing feeling for myself, knowing that I did everything that I could, every tool in my belt to help them get a result that they truly wanted or didn't even expect to get. And so for me, it's more about the patient's happiness rather than transactional. Like I said, I mean, it just so happens that they need more than just Botox or just one treatment.
Yeah.
So
and most people will come in for exactly what they want. And if you've heard a few episodes before, you've heard us reference the analogy of a restaurant. You go in and you just order what you want and then you leave. But we've all been to like also different kinds of restaurants, maybe like a high-end wine restaurant where it's like, hey, how are you feeling today? What are you eating with it? And you'll have almost that consultant type mentality where someone's actually trying to help you to give you the best experience possible. And that's where a med spa should be looking at and people coming in that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, that it's funny that you brought up the restaurant thing again, right? Because that's the difference between a restaurant and an experience, right? When you go to a Michelin star restaurant, you're expecting the whole nine. You know, you expect the person to come up to you and be a consultant, like what kind of mood are you in? What is your
Right.
palate feeling?
Right.
You know? Do you like sweets? Do you like savory? Do you like this, that, or the other? Whereas in the med spa side of things, that's how it initially started, but it's regressed to this one-off, boom, 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 done. And the excuse is, I don't want to come off salesy. Well, if you're pushing multiple treatments on somebody that doesn't want them, then you're salesy, you're pitchy, you're pitchy, you're transactional.
Yeah.
But if you are taking a very holistic consultative approach and saying, look, Mrs. Smith, I know you came in for Botox, but I also know that you came to us because you trust us and we are the professional and we are the expert here. Yeah. I see a couple pigment issues as well that we could probably take care of today. Is that something that you would be interested in exploring? Right. I am fully, or even if somebody books an appointment for a very specific thing, you can just start that conversation off. I'm fully prepared to talk to you about whatever it was that they scheduled. And then I can get your opinion on that. How does that sound? Or how does that sound about at the end of this? If we discuss some other things that I see, do I have the permission to do that? You know, you can ease into these things if you are absolutely terrified of coupling, tripling, quadrupling these treatments, and do it in such a way that they're going to be very, very grateful for you, right? It's like you go to see a doctor because, I don't know, your belly hurts. And then they run a couple of tests and it turns out that they catch something a lot more serious than that, right? Maybe it's cancer, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. They might be coming in because, you know, they sprained their ankle, but you might be leaving with life-saving surgery somewhere else because your appendix burst, right? But you don't know unless you freaking ask, unless you explore.
Yeah, and then not only that, not only that, Dean, but they don't really even ask. They're just said, so what we're going to do here is because we have this issue, we're going to do this, right? They just go ahead and do that. What this can do for your business is we all know that it takes 10x more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain and to get and to hit your own database, your existing clientele. So think about the amount of profit that you can be generating and not having to live in the rat race of getting new customer, when you can comfortably say, hey, every person that walks through the door could be upwards of $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 for the lifetime. It might not happen today, right? Yeah. It might not, but over the next couple of years, should I decide that, hey, this is the right person, they have the right problems and I can ultimately help them, that's exactly what we're looking for. So huge benefit here rather than trying to get new customers all the time. So I think a few listeners might want to hear, Charmaine, from your end. Let's say somebody comes in for XYZ problem. Walk them through exactly what that looks like. Tell us, give us a good example of like, hey, they came in with this issue and here is what we help them with, like in a strategic standpoint.
Okay, so let's just go back on acne, because that's, I mean, I love doing that, but that's kind of one of the issues that is very hard to tackle. If they come in and, again, me going through my holistic approach depends on, I ask them so many questions of like, when did this start? Were you on birth control? Did this happen after you've had, a baby? Because things are purging, your estrogen may be a little bit high, your hormones are probably a little bit off. So with that, I do go and I tell them, I put them through my acne boot camp. That's kind of what I do. So I kind of get to the internal problem first. I try to get them on some supplements to start there. Then I look at it because there's several different types of acne. And then I just assess that. And then I give them a full treatment plan. I always give them a free treatment plan, regardless if what their what they can. I don't assume that what they can afford or not, because obviously it's an issue for them. And I know that confidence wise, that's a day-to-day thing that you have to keep seeing every single day. Right. So, and they've probably tried everything under the sun. So what I do is I give them a full treatment plan, say, look, you're going to have to do the work just as much as I'm going to have to do the work. But if you commit to me, I'm going to commit to you, and we're going to get this shit done together.
So what does that look like
Yeah.
across? So like, what does a plan look like? So
I mean, I usually will start
instead of just one off and being like selling maybe some one treatment, how does that look like as you put a combo behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go into like my secret formula, but I will just kind of give, over the years what I've done. Well, for example, chemical peels, enzymes, whatnot. I like to get them purged before they start working on after that. Then we kind of start to go into, the energies, like the light-based energies, CO2. It depends on how severe it is, but
Exactly.
once I really like to start to get them at a baseline, where they don't have active acne, then I get them to where now we're on the corrective
Exactly.
treatment plan, and then after that it's maintenance.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. As somebody who struggled with acne when they were a teenager, my mom took me to somewhere and got me a facial, and I was like, okay, cool. This does it work? Maybe, but probably not. Over time, it was like, no, but like I struggled it. My mom could definitely afford it. I struggled with the confidence behind it. And then the people who did the treatment, they didn't make enough money from us. So like, think about like the ramifications of not being able to put a combo behind this. Just it could be such a boost for a business here.
Oh yeah, and not only that, but here's where for me is like I feel that as a owner, I think you need to invest in your team to have the education and have the right ass in the right seat to someone who is actually just as passionate about, helping people as you are, because you can have all the damn machines you want, but if you don't have a person that knows how to use it or knows how to have the combination treatments to do so, it's money wasted. It's sitting there. And meanwhile, it's not only just about the money. This poor client came to you to help them, and if you have all the best marketing that there is out there, saying that you're the best, you're whatever, and you can't deliver results, like how does that make that person feel? They feel like they have nowhere to go.
Yep, 100%. There's different ways you go ahead, Dean.
Sorry, there was something very powerful that Charmaine said, and it relates to me personally. And I think this is a worthwhile conversation briefly, real quick, before we wrap things up. She said something about when people come to me with this problem, I'm not assuming that they do or don't have the money. I'm listening to the problem and what it's going to take to treat and fix this problem for them. Right. So this is another episode, when we start talking more about sales, right? Right. But there has to be three things that happen anytime anybody spends money with you. They have to know, like, and trust you. They have to believe that you have the answer to the problem. And they also have to have the money for the treatment. The problem is we assume that they know, like, and trust us. We assume that they think that we have the answer, but we automatically assume that they don't have the money. Now, going back to what she said, when somebody has a severe confidence issue, right? When I was younger, I was bullied. I was picked on. Girls would tell me I was ugly, this, that, and the other. I did not feel good. I was sickly skinny. I didn't have money when I was little, but I did everything in my power I could. All right. All right, so for those of you that can't see what the hell happened while I'm laughing during a very personal story, is Mark just typed in our damn chat here, still ugly. Fuck you, Mark. But I did anything I could to get a dadgum gym membership so I could start getting better. It didn't matter how much it cost. It could have cost $1 million. I would have found a way to do it. But thanks, Mark.
No problem. No problem. Yeah. Like
I appreciate it.
Emotion behind all this really just it opens people's wallets. And when there's a big why behind it, they're going to do it. So other ways you can do this, guys, is if you have a lot of different services. Number one, they come in and you upsell them. So that would be, they come in for small, you get them to big. That is the upsell, right? Another way you can do this is to combo package, and you can cross sell. So this is if somebody comes in for maybe like a bigger package, well, they might need some retail product behind that. That's a cross sell. You might need something that goes along with it. And then finally, you can go ahead and downsell them. If they buy something, they can't afford it, find a solution that is just good enough for them.
Yep. And that's all about just, again, I always circle back to this, but having education and having your staff know what they're doing, And even when I do consults at some, when I do them, I mean, I always offer them like, hey, this is going to get you here, but it's kind of like the Benz,
Right.
Cadillac, and then, at least a Kia, and at least it works. You know what I mean? For 100,000,
Absolutely.
whatever. So,
Absolutely. So long story short, guys, make sure you guys are reevaluating your packages. I noticed that you call yours the Acne Boot Camp. It's nice to say that it has like a package. It seems like it's been done before. It's people. It's something that people can tangibly see rather than, oh, I do this, and this. That sounds like a lot. So putting a name behind it, it's a great way to add some IP or some a package bundle to it. People love seeing those things. I want that because it achieves this result, right? And then you upsell, cross-sell, downsell. Make sure you guys are comboing these things and creating that profit in your business, the solution needed for your clients, and long-term lifetime value. That's it for this episode, guys. Go make some combos, make some great offers. We'll see you guys in the next episode.